Then came an opportunity, one that could launch her into an even bigger spotlight. Many believed it was the chance of a lifetime, but it was risky, controversial, and full of pressure. Still, she approached it like she approached everything else, calmly, carefully, with every detail in mind. Some doubted her. Some thought she would get swept away. But she didn't. She stayed true to her vision and made a decision that shocked everyone, one that showed she wasn't just building a career, she was building a legacy. Destiny took an unexpected turn when she chose the riskier path. But it was the right one. It protected her voice, her integrity, and her purpose. According to Bishop Sheard, that decision reflected the perfect balance within her, tough but compassionate, smart but humble. She didn't take the easy road, she took the right one. Of course, there were consequences. Some resented her, some doubted her judgment. Others claimed she had gone too far, but she ignored the noise. She stayed focused on her mission. She kept creating. She kept climbing. She continued to show the world the same warm, loving woman, but behind that was a powerful leader, planning everything step by step. And here's the shocking truth. Most people have no idea how much of her journey was shaped by decisions like this. Over time, the results became undeniable. Opportunities that once seemed impossible became reality. Risks turned into victories. And even her critics had to admit her strategy was flawless. The amazing thing? She never lost her heart through it all. Even with all the tough choices, she remained generous, kind, and deeply spiritual. She mentored younger artists. She stayed connected with her fans. She shared her faith openly. Bishop Sheard said, "This is what made her truly extraordinary. She wasn't just driven, she was grounded. She wasn't just tough, she was loving. She wasn't just a star, she was a force of nature with a heart of gold." By the end, one thing became clear: Tamela's story wasn't just about music or fame. It was about strength, clarity, and a fierce determination to stay true to herself. Every storm she walked through, every bold no she said, every risk she took, it all built a legacy that she alone designed. That's how she became more than a singer. She became a symbol of power and grace. A woman people underestimated until they realized she had outmaneuvered everyone around her. This is where the story gets truly meaningful. Tamela's journey wasn't just a series of performances or award nights. It was shaped by the invisible battles backstage, the decisions she made when no one was clapping, and the unwavering focus that kept her true to her calling. She faced criticism, she faced tension, she even faced moments of loneliness, but she never backed down. And here's the craziest part: the same gentle, inspiring woman everyone fell in love with was the same person quietly reshaping her future behind every closed door. In the end, Bishop Sheard reminded us that greatness comes with a price. The people at the top are not always the ones who smile the most. They are the ones who choose purpose over comfort, who make hard decisions, who stand tall when others bow. But Tamela showed it's possible to be both, to protect your vision without losing your humanity, to be fierce and faithful at the same time. Her story is unforgettable because of that balance: the soft voice the world adores, and the fierce mind that built an empire. Every step, every sacrifice, every calculated move has shaped her legacy. And now, the world finally sees what she always knew. She wasn't just a gospel artist, she was a leader, a strategist, a force people whispered about and now openly admire. And that is the truth so many were afraid to tell. You may think you know everything about Tamela Mann, the gracious gospel singer, always smiling, always gentle. But what Bishop J. Drew Sheard revealed recently has completely changed how people see her. For years, the public only saw one side of Tamela, the kind, humble woman standing on stage, lifting souls with her music. But in private, there was a different side. A side that worked quietly but powerfully behind the scenes. A side that was strategic, driven, and far more focused than anyone imagined. From the outside, her life appeared flawless. Fans admired her voice, her faith, and her character. Many believed she succeeded because she was simply blessed or lucky. But here's the surprising truth according to insiders, including Bishop Sheard: nothing in Tamela's rise was by accident. Behind her success were careful decisions, some of them bold and even controversial. That's what makes her story so remarkable. She wasn't just the sweet gospel queen everyone adored. She was also a sharp, determined woman who built her future piece by piece, defending it like it was her life's mission. People close to her said she paid attention to everything. She knew who truly supported her and who didn't. She stayed polite on the surface, but inside, she was unshakable. Bishop Sheard recalled moments that surprised even seasoned people in the industry. He talked about decisions she made that left people stunned. Instead of rushing into every deal that came her way, she took her time. She studied her options. She was not afraid to walk away, even if everyone around her thought she was making a mistake. The most surprising part? How calm she stayed through it all. While others panicked over missed chances, she remained confident, almost as if she could see her future with clarity. And sometimes, that future led her into opportunities no one thought she'd reach. But there's more. Behind that gentle voice and warm smile, Tamela set boundaries. She guarded her work, her family, and her image with remarkable focus. Insiders say she did not hesitate to cut ties with people who tried to pull her off course. She was firm, but she never looked cruel. She simply protected her purpose. That's why Bishop Sheard's words created such a stir. People began asking, "Who is Tamela Mann?" when the crowd goes home and the lights turn off. Still, this doesn't paint her as harsh. Those close to her say she carried the pressure of the industry daily. She knew one wrong move could damage her reputation. One bad partnership could cost her years of hard work. The gospel world looks friendly, but behind that are hidden rivalries and quiet competition. According to Bishop Sheard, Tamela survived, even thrived, because she stayed alert. She always thought several steps ahead. Each decision was part of a bigger plan, even when it looked insignificant. She turned down opportunities that many assumed were perfect. She made sudden changes that confused people. She took risks that no one expected. Some called it strategy, others called it stubbornness, but none of it was led by fear. She refused to let other people's opinions run her life, even when people whispered behind her back, even when it led to conflict, even when it meant standing alone. And this was just the beginning. The real turning point, the moment that revealed who she was, came later. It happened during an event that almost broke her relationships. It was a moment that tested her deeply and showed the world a side of her very few had seen. Once Bishop Sheard shared his account of what happened, it became clear that her story was far more intense than anyone imagined. Tamela's closest relationships were pushed to the breaking point behind the scenes. On stage, she looked peaceful and loving. But according to Bishop Sheard and other insiders, her private world often ran on hard choices and emotional pressure. She had to decide, again and again, between protecting her career and keeping others happy. These weren't small decisions, they weighed heavily on her. And here's what shocked people. Every time she had to choose between her future and someone's feelings, she chose her future. Even if it hurt the people close to her. Those around her thought they knew her heart. But they didn't always understand her resolve. Some friends began to expect her to compromise for them. Some family thought they deserved special treatment. Some artists assumed she would break her schedule for peace, but she didn't. She stayed kind, but she stayed firm. Insiders say she walked away from people she once trusted because she sensed they would lead her off course. She turned down big collaborations, even when they could have boosted her fame. Some deals came with restrictions she didn't accept. She said no, even when everyone else said yes. Some artists grew angry when she refused to shift her plans to fit theirs. During one major tour, performers tried to push their deadlines onto her. They assumed she would bend because of her reputation for being nice. But that night, everything changed. Tamela completely restructured her schedule and refused to lose control. Those who were there said she held her ground with silence, grace, and an almost frightening precision. What shocked everyone was not that she said no, but how confidently she did it. Bishop Sheard said Tamela had a way of protecting her space without arguing. She didn't need to fight loudly, she fought wisely. And that earned her a whole new level of respect. Of course, not everyone appreciated this side of her. Some said she was too strict. Others felt she was closing doors instead of opening them. Some felt hurt when she chose her purpose over personal connections. This created tension enough to test her deeply. People she trusted began to pull away. Some talked behind her back. Others tried to block her path. But she stayed unmoved. She knew the industry wasn't soft. She had seen the fake smiles. She understood how fast trust could turn into pressure. That's why she set her boundaries, and she kept them. She learned to move with strategy instead of emotion. She chose peace over drama, control over chaos. And while the world saw the loving performer, Bishop Sheard described her as quietly powerful, someone whose biggest battles happened when no one was watching. Some called her ruthless, others called her wise, but one thing was clear: she always knew exactly what she was doing. And yet, this wasn't the biggest test of her life. The greatest pressure came when she was preparing for one of her most important performances. It was a situation so intense, it nearly sparked a scandal. That moment revealed just how strong she really was. The pressure came from every angle: promoters, other artists, even leaders in the industry. Everyone wanted her to make changes that would have weakened her performance. They expected her to bend. But she didn't. She stayed calm as the room filled with tension. People whispered. Some were furious. Demands poured in: change your song, adjust your time, alter your appearance. Most artists would have given in. But not Tamela. She drew the line. Without drama, without arguing, she said no. Some were shocked. Others worried she had gone too far. But Bishop Sheard said that was classic Tamela: calm, calculating, fearless. She always looked like she was living in the moment, but in reality, she was thinking 3 steps ahead. Instead of panicking, she doubled down. She rehearsed harder. She studied every detail. She prepared for every possible issue. Insiders say her level of precision was shocking. Nothing was left to chance. Her focus was absolute. When the day of the event arrived, she walked on stage with quiet power. Bishop Sheard described her expression calm, but with a fire in her eyes no one had ever seen before. And then she sang. Not just sang, she owned the stage. Her performance was flawless, full of power and control. The crowd cheered, unaware of the battlefield she had just overcome. The music was beautiful, but the message behind it was even stronger. She would not be controlled. After the event, relationships shifted. Some people gained new respect, others held resentment, and a few finally realized they had underestimated her. But Bishop Sheard said all of that was exactly how Tamela wanted it. She had accepted the cost of her decisions long before they happened. She didn't care about temporary approval. She cared about protecting her calling and her reputation. What most people didn't know was that while she was fighting battles publicly, she was also holding things together privately. Family demands, friendships, and personal pressure were all happening at the same time. Yet, she stayed composed. Bishop Sheard said it was a kind of quiet ruthlessness, not harsh or cruel, but absolutely necessary. Behind the loving smile was a woman making the hardest choices every single day. Some say that performance changed her image forever. Not because she sang well, but because it revealed her inner strength, the part of her no one ever expected. Even after the tension, the criticism, and gossip, she stayed respected. She remained in control. She kept building. She kept rising. And the world finally saw the truth. Tamela Mann's success came not only from her voice, but from her mind. Bishop Sheard explained that this strength, this strategy, was the foundation of her career. Not everyone could handle it. Some called her intense. But that intensity allowed her to lead, to create, and to inspire with conviction. And just when people thought the story had reached its climax, there came a decision that stunned even her most loyal followers. A choice that nearly rewrote part of gospel history. After that defining moment, something shifted. People saw Tamela differently. They recognized her power, her control, her relentless commitment.